Just testing the camera. Well, welcome to Heathrow, but what an introduction. I didn't even know what aircraft that was. I know it was British Airways, so either Boeing or Airbus, but I didn't even have my phone out ready. We've just started and already we've got one taking off. Oh, and literally already A350-1000. I know what this is, and you can tell straight away from the front of the aircraft with British Airways. Need to get flight radar out quickly. Right, got a minute. This one's took off now, so we have an A380 that is on the stand, says it's going out to Miami, so it would be great to see an A380. We literally, just as I arrived here, a Qatar A380 took off to Doha. Couldn't get my stand out in time, but I have recorded it, so that will be in a video for later. Going to be posted later this week. Says it's busy, but instantly now we've got a little pause, as we're waiting for either planes to get on the runway or my phone to catch up and tell me who's on the runway. Looks like next is the 767 for United Airlines heading out to New York, but we'll see. But we are at Heathrow, live streaming from Myrtle Avenue, the home of British Airways. We can see in the background lots of British Airways aircraft. Some of them are A380s in the distance there, but we are on the end of 27 left, watching the departures out from Heathrow. Yeah, see, my phone's not connected properly because we have a little British Airways popping out here. Off to Jersey. British Airways A320 there. Spin camera background. Looks like I'm going to get the information literally last second as the plane's going over me, which is always great for someone trying to tell you what's flying and where they're flying to. But we will make do with it. There was a United Airlines 767, but the runway looks pretty clear at the moment. So we're just waiting for something to pop up on the map and let us know who's flying and where they're flying to. We've got a WestJet 787. Looks like it's coming up to the top of the runway. Off to Calgary. I think it's in Canada. Yes, it is. British Airways off to Madrid, A320. Probably going to have a lot of British Airways, obviously, as we are at London Heathrow, the base for British Airways. So probably going to be a recurring theme throughout the live stream. But we love British Airways. Great airline. I flew on them yesterday into London Heathrow last night. on their A320. As I said, another British Airways. This one off to Newcastle. Not a very long flight. It was 32 minutes for me from Manchester to London. So I doubt that the flight to Newcastle will be much longer than that. Probably about 40-50 minutes and they'll be there. And another British Airways, as I said, running theme throughout this off to Naples. Another A320. We are waiting here. There are going to be a couple of the bigger aircraft off to either America or, let's be honest, all over the world. Heathrow is the international hub that connects Asia to America and Europe. Hopefully with the new expansion hopefully happening in the next, well, 10-20 years, we'll see a hell of a lot more passengers, a lot more jets. Just great for plane spotting, really. I'm just going to raise okay, a bit better. That'll be better. You are now taller than me. Easier to control the camera anyway. Better grip on it. Another little one off. This time, again, British Airways. Off to Lisbon. Just up there. From saying we're going to have a few British Airways, we've had 4 consecutive British Airways flights, but at the top of 27 left currently we've got quite a few big ones. We've got United, we've got Air Canada, British Airways again, as well as a few others heading out tonight, well, this evening, this afternoon, whatever you want to call it, depending where you're watching from, I guess. Got United 767. Well, no. I'm guessing this is WestJet's. WestJet 787. Yes, it is. He's been on the runway. Well, he's been on the taxiway quite a while, waiting for the British Airways to move. But yeah, WestJet off to Canada. So, up next, if it doesn't make me look like a liar again, 767 United will be departing off to New York. He is on the runway, so I do want to say I can probably now confirm that. And yeah, well, he's lined up anyway, so we'll see him in a second. And then we'll actually have a couple. We've got two United, one United on the way now off to New York, and then there's another one, a couple in the queue to take off on the taxiway. United 767 off to New York out of London Heathrow. The sun has disappeared. It's now awfully cold. But we've got a British Airways coming out to Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport in the north, A320, flying out with British Airways. Whew. I started off this live saying that Heathrow is one of the world's busiest airports, but nothing currently taking off. There's a lot on the taxiway waiting to take off. I said there was a British Airways A320 off to Charles de Gaulle in Paris, but he doesn't seem to have surfaced yet. Got a lot of catering vans going past and cars, the main busy road here. Something must be going on in the tower or somewhere nearby, because there's not a single thing taking off. A lot of things in the background landing. Ah, there we go. We actually have a British Airways A380 as well that's taxiing to the runway, so we'll be graced by the A320 in the not too distant future. So yeah, A380 has popped up on the map. It looks like it's in the queue to take off to Miami, so that'll be good for the live. British Airways here, off to Edinburgh, I think it said. That was the Edinburgh A321 flying out to Edinburgh from London Heathrow. I think in this area with the signal, it's not always the best. You see a plane and it disappears. Like currently, the A380's disappeared off the map. However, it will be back. It'll take off and it won't tell you. Like clockwork. Aer Lingus, a different airline for the moment. A320 flying out to Dublin. Nice little short haul trip that really. It's another short one from my main airport, Manchester Airport. About 30 minutes on an Aer Lingus A320. Probably about an hour from London Heathrow. So long for a short haul flight, but not the longest in the world. The longest I think is held by EasyJet. It's a 6-hour flight. It's the longest short haul for EasyJet. British Airways off to Vienna on the A319, so a little Diddy plane. Well, the second smallest in the Airbus family, followed, well, beaten by the A318, which is a tiny, tiny aircraft. Oh, as we're turned around, we're joined by the special, the BA Better World livery going out to Belfast. Special livery, this one for British Airways. It was to show their commitment to the climate. So instead of the usual red, white and blue, it is variants of light blue. A great livery for the airline. Sorry, the last time I came to London Heathrow from the hotel I was staying at. Fantastic livery. Up next looks like Air France on the A220 going out to Charles de Gaulle, so following the other British Airways that went out to CDG earlier. Air France. lots and lots of birds here circling, but at least we're away from the airport, so we shouldn't have any bird strikes or any potential problems. But yeah, Air France blissfully taking off behind the birds. Off to Glasgow, A320 with British Airways. So we're just waiting out now. Hopefully the A380 is still on its way. We're going to be waiting out here now for it. As long as it takes, we're going to see it take off. Hopefully we'll see some big ones in a minute, because they are lined up at the end of the runway. So, see what we can see. Air Canada in the A320 off to Montreal. The A380 is still behind that, so we should see the A380 in the next couple minutes or so. They don't try and leave the A380 staying there too soon. But up first we have another A320 with British Airways off to Barcelona. But the Air Canada A330 is now on the runway, so it should be next, and the A380 is going to be after that. It is at the threshold of the runway, so it's going to be great to see. Air Canada should be with us any time. Any second, there we go. Air Canada behind this lorry. The A330, which excitingly means the A380 is next. Montreal, Canada is their destination, and hopefully that means no airline is going in before. No, British Airways A380 is on the runway, so we are going to get to see that amazing aircraft. The A380 is one of my favourites. Obviously the biggest passenger aircraft in the world. I've seen quite a few today, which is going to be great for the video putting together. Now, interestingly, it says either United's going up or British Airways. They seem to be both on the runway. Nope, it is the British Airways A380. Fantastic, stunning takeoff for the airline. Low takeoff too, which is incredible. Wow, that was insane. A nice, stunning low takeoff there from the A380, British Airways. Off to Miami. I'm not sure if I said that, but wow, incredible. Not much is going to compare or beat that, really. but absolutely incredible to see. I think I zoomed out a bit there. There we go. But yes, well, after that, I think it's the United Airlines 767. It is on the runway. Oh no, sorry, 787. Still in the Boeing family, but it's their 787 flying out to Los Angeles LAX. Still see the British Airways aircraft in the background, which is awesome. There we go. 787 with United Airlines. What I like about these bigger aircraft is their lower takeoffs. Some seem to get up pretty fast, but a lot take their time. Off to Los Angeles. Maybe nice weather in London, but my God, it is a cold. So LA would be a nice destination stop for me. Nice and warm anyway. You probably won't be able to see it on the live if I turn the camera, but in the distance, still see the A380. Absolutely massive aircraft to still be seen. Wow, I'll have a look where it is. Over Woking, 4,300 feet away, sorry, in the air, and you can still see it crystal clear from London Heathrow. It is insane. Hello to whoever's joined. Welcome to London Heathrow. It is freezing. Vueling off to Paris, ole. Great airline, Vueling. They've a few posts I've put on Instagram before and tagged them in, they've liked. It's always nice to see. Love when an airline or company like that interact with people who post stuff. It's just nice to see. On the runway, hey, London Heathrow to Manchester is on the runway. It's just it's just took off now. So this would be my flight home, if I was going home, off to Manchester, my home airport. If it's anything like the flight down to London yesterday, it'll be home in half an hour. Absolutely insane how fast the flight was. We took off, seatbelts were come off, and then it will put them back on, we're landing. So, can't beat it. Better than driving. 4.5 hours driving or 30-minute flight. I know what I'm choosing any day, and it's the flight. But happy to see that. Oh, as I'm still talking about Manchester, another British Airways taking off. Oh no, sorry, Lufthansa off to Frankfurt. Where's it gone? There it is. You can't tell. Very passionate about Manchester. Another A320, but this time Lufthansa off to Frankfurt. Frankfurt is one of the airports that I'd like to go to, actually. Hopefully see the 747 or the A340-600 before they're retired in the coming years. It'd be nice to see them before they go. Up is British Airways off to Hamburg, A320. A lot of European destinations out of London Heathrow. Heathrow really does connect the world between. Obviously, hopefully we're getting a third runway added, which can increase, but it honestly is so many different flights going out to each and every single corner of the world. You've got Doha from like Qatar, you've got Dubai with Emirates, British Airways connecting with so many different routes. They're literally just 3 airlines out of the so many that fly from Heathrow. Like a current view, plane related but not takeoff related, or departures. So many British Airways planes just scattered. I'm going to go up on that hill near the end of the live, but you've got the iconic Concorde just behind that fence, which has got a 777 or a A350. I can't tell from this little downward position, but you've got the present and the past at Heathrow. As well as Manchester, actually. They've got a Concorde, which I did a tour on. Incredibly historic aircraft, and the Americans are trying to reproduce it with the Sonic, but I'm not sure if it will be as graceful and as amazing as the Concorde. Ahead of its time in a lot of ways. British Airways, A350, I believe. Oh no, 777. As I said, one of the problems with being here at Myrtle Avenue is the signal is not great. Not great. So, flight radar doesn't always pop up straight away with the aircraft, though. It normally pops up when they're 1,000 feet in the air. So there we go. I can tell you now that it is British Airways 777 300ER off to San Francisco. It would have been nice to tell you that at the beginning as it took off. However, flight radar and the signal doesn't always comply. We've got Virgin Atlantic off to Boston, again in the United States. Great airline. Flew on Virgin Atlantic from Manchester to New York a few years ago. Incredible airline. That was on the A330 as well, actually. We've got a few, we've got a China Eastern Airlines commercial flight out in the coming minutes. We've also got a Qatar special livery One World livery, as they're part of the One World group, with so many actually. There's actually I think there's like 26, if not more, airlines in the One World group. But that's heading off to Doha. Just following this Virgin Atlantic now. Oh, ow. Sorry, I've kicked you. Coming back. There we go. We've got quite a few little ones heading out. The next one on the runway, it's not the one that's taking off. The one that's taking off is SAS, connected from London to Oslo, out in Norway. Out of Norway. Wanted to check before I stumbled on my words there. There it is. Oh, it is blurred. There we go. It does take the camera a second to focus back on when it likes to connect on the sky above before actually connecting back to the planes we're trying to spot. But we don't hate it for it. As I'm talking about the sky, there is another British Airways off to Cologne, right over our heads here. Turn back round and wait for that. The camera doesn't zoom out enough. There we go. I might keep it in this to spot the planes as long as we can. Keep them out. But there, British Airways A320 off to Cologne. Great airline. Love British Airways. As I said, you're going to see absolutely so many British Airways flights or departures, landings, because London Heathrow is their hub, is their main airport, so it is fantastic to see. We actually, talking of British Airways, as I am gushing over the airline, we've actually got one of their bigger ones coming out, and happily we do have another A380 heading out, so that is going to be fantastic to see. 2 A380s in one live. You can't beat it at Heathrow, honestly. If you can't tell, I do love London Heathrow. There we go. But yes, so we are going to see an A380 again. Obviously, earlier in the live, about 20 minutes ago, we had British Airways A380 off to Miami. That was great to see. It took off quite late, so it was a nice low departure, so it was great for the live. So thank you to the British Airways pilots there. So hopefully we can have a reenactment. That's not the word, but a redo. There we go. Let's put it in a simpler term. Reenactment. Oh God, oh Jesus. So 777 British Airways taking off here. My God. Special livery British Airways. We'll zoom in just, there we go. It's the cherry blossom one. Leave that on there for a while so we can adore that whilst I try and let as I said, flight radar with with Myrtle Avenue do not mix. I tell you. There we go. it's now absolutely, it's over France. No, I'm kidding. But so it is the Great Festival of Creativity airline livery for British Airways. So it is great. It would have been nice to give you that information 20 minutes ago when it actually took off, but you know, we live and we learn with data and Wi-Fi. You'd think you'd have a better connection, but no. So, but anyway, yes, off to Baltimore if I stop whittering on about liveries and 4G. There we go, it's off anyway. So yeah, we've got a couple 777s. We've got a British Airways off to Atlanta. I'm going to give you the information now, so if I witter on about something else, then at least you know what's taking off and why. You know, just in the distance there. We've got a smaller one first though. Like I tell you, well, I'll let this take off and then I'll show you. I'll show you the fact. There we go, connecting off to Geneva in Switzerland. A320 British Airways. I forgot to zoom out. Do take it easy on me. I am learning this live business. There we go. He's got the zoom. Got the zoom. So now you can actually see in an unblurred fashion what you're trying to watch. But it's British Airways off to Geneva. Pan the camera around before I miss the next one. I think we're going to have a couple big ones take off now. Still waiting for that A380. It is on the way off to Dubai, Emirates. So do stick around for that, because Heathrow, Emirates, they do not Emirates, just A380s in general do take off generally later on. So you do get a cracking view of their departures. A few off now. A little one, KLM off to Amsterdam from London. That'd be a pretty short flight, that. Oh no, apparently not. Estimate about 7 o'clock, so fairly on the Embraer E195. KLM, don't even know. Honestly, I need to give you I'm going to give you a little spreadsheet of information before they take off. So if I do forget, at least you know what's happening. So next, I hope Emirates is slowly heading towards the runway. I said I was going to give you a spreadsheet of information. However, flight radar, for God's sake, doesn't give you it. But I can tell you it is a 777. I know that. I know it's British Airways. Love the noise of that engine. There we go. Atlanta. I did tell you. Getting ahead of myself there. But British Airways off to Atlanta on their 777. Boeing 777, obviously. Just heading off into the distance as well. A nice sunny evening here at Heathrow, so it is gonna nice when the sun's currently behind that cloud, but when the sun pops out, the aircraft look incredible along their liveries. I think we'll have a Diddy one first. I think it's the A319 Eurowings off to Dusseldorf. I always feel like you have to say Dusseldorf and, like, as you say, like Dumbledore. Dusseldorf. Yeah, I'm weird, I'm sorry. But yes, A380 Emirates does look like it's going to be in the next couple minutes, in about 5 minutes or so. We've actually, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the live. You see it in the background there. I'm going to try and zoom in as much as I can. Actually, we've got an arriving A380. Obviously, it's not great quality because we're on the complete opposite side of the runway of the airport even, but is A380 Emirates landing. So as one arrives, one departs. Where we've got this Eurowings A319 off to Dusseldorf. Oh no, sorry, British Airways sneaked on the runway off to Prague. There we go. But yeah, so if you do plan to come to London Heathrow, do not rely on flight radar in this area, because it's not going to give you reliable information. I'd say reliable. It's going to give you information, but when and where it gives you it is going to be a bit different. Anyway, on the runway currently lined up, well, taken off now, is Aer Lingus A320 off to Shannon. Where is it? It's behind the tree. There we go. Hello. And that Emirates A380 I'd mentioned on the other side landing is just coming down. I can see it on the other side of the centre terminal at London Heathrow. There we go. So with every aircraft that go means we are getting closer to the A380 Emirates, hopefully soon. We've got that Eurowings heading up in the next couple seconds actually. It's on the runway anyway. There we go. Just popping behind them trees now is the Eurowings A319. That's it, it was off to Dusseldorf. The one I've been talking about for about 20 minutes now. Eurowings actually fly the A318 to Manchester, which is my home airport, so obviously we do get a little tiny plane now and then of their fleet, which is always cute to see because it's such a cute little aircraft. Up next is, drum roll please whilst I get up flight radar, Delta A330 of the 900, so one of the newer ones. Earlier this year, actually, I was at the Airbus factory in Toulouse, and they were just finishing up the last touches of a brand new Delta A330-900. So I wonder if it's that one. It'd be lovely if it was actually, because that'd be really cool. Full circle, going to France, seeing it, because it had its engines on and everything. So they were just test flying it, I think. So, but yes, off to Seattle. So. Nice long flight for them out there. Big one off now. Qatar Airways off to Doha. Oh, it's the One World livery. Where's it gone? There we go. Doha would be a fantastic airport to live stream at. So many flights go there, A380s and 777s. It'd be fantastic to spot at. Now, I told you all there was an A380 coming, and as I say, with the ever unreliable data here at Myrtle Avenue, it's not on the map. It's going to be somewhere, because when I got here, the Qatar Airways, it was on the runway to take off, and about 6 aircraft took off before it, so be patient. It is going to come at some point. As I say that, it pops up on the on the map, but currently we've got, I think it was Kuwait Airways. I'll tell you in a minute. Oh no, United or American Airlines. American Airlines. That hasn't been on the flight radar at all. In my viewing, but it's now. London Heathrow, obviously, here we are here, live stream, but it's going off to New York, JFK, 777-300 with the American Airlines. I do like the American Airlines. I think it's quite a nice livery, quite simple, but you know, well, I say you know because I made a mistake, didn't I? But you're human, you always make mistakes. But that A380 is getting closer to the top now, on runway 09R, but I'm on the bottom at 27 left. And that sun is now popping out, which is lovely because it's a little cold. So we're expecting some big ones. I think currently there is one just crossing the runway, so we're not going to get anything in the immediate second, but we do have a couple big ones. We've got a couple we've got an Emirates, we've got British Airways, we've got a Malaysian Airlines. Oh no, sorry, that's just landed. There's a few, that's all we need to know. That said, we'll know when they take off. See? British Airways again. A319 off to, I'm not even going to attempt that, Bologna. Anyone from there, do not butcher me over the saying. Where is it? What? Oh, it's Italy. Wow. But yes, British Airways there, off to Italy. I'm just going to say Italy. I'm not even attempting the airport. Anybody wants to, thank you, Emmy, Football Vlogs there. Lovely comment, thank you. We've got another Qatar A350 1000 heading out to Doha. That's going to taxi up to the top of this runway here. We got a little one here. Currently heading over the runway. As I said, I'll tell you when I know. It'll pop up in a second. I believe it's Iberia. Yes, you can tell by the red on the tail at the bottom there. Off to Madrid. We've got a few different ones. We've got a Virgin Atlantic heading to the top of the runway now. You can actually see the Emirates that landed whilst we were watching the Eurowings a couple minutes ago. Just heading to the gate at... it normally goes to Terminal 3, I think. I'll let you know when it arrives at the gate, but as you can see, we've got the tail there for Emirates A380 just landed in from Dubai. Got a little one taking off here now. I'll zoom out for that. Oh wow. Didn't know you can zoom out that far. That'd be good to know now for the big ones, actually, to zoom out that far. But yes, another Eurowings off to Cologne. Another little one for the airline, A319. There's a fly attacking me whilst I'm trying to do that. There we go. Circling back around again. Hopefully we start to see some of these big ones that are lined up. You like to let the little ones out first. Saying that though, the biggest in the game, A380, is now lining up on the runway, ready to take off. So that'll be out with us in the next literally probably 20 seconds. Unless someone takes off before it at this point. Yeah, there we go. You know, it's like, what is the point in actually talking at this point? Virgin Atlantic here though, taking off. As you speak, something pops up. Off to Las Vegas, whatever you want to call it. It's Las Vegas though, isn't it? End of the day. But yes, they're 787 Dreamliner. Off to the United States. Now hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't want to lie to you anymore, you want to see it, the A380 is on the runway. If something pops up before it, I swear to God. But yes, it is on the runway, it is looking like it's taking off, so there we go, in the distance, the incredible A380. That was a bit higher than the last A380 we saw out of London Heathrow, but it was incredible nonetheless. Oh, someone's angry. They didn't get to see the A380, but you guys did, so think yourselves lucky. But yes, Emirates A380 in their classic brand livery off to Dubai International. UAE. Fantastic aircraft. Thank you guys for watching that with me. That was incredible. I think that is going to be the last of the A380s out today. Incredible airline, incredible aircraft. Always like to see it. Heading down now, probably towards France and out to Europe, where it'll then carry on out to Dubai. But we're going to stay here now for a bit. We do have a couple big ones going up. There's a Kuwait 777-300 that's been sat there waiting now for quite a while. So he or she, they shall be taking off in the not near distant future. We're going to wait for some big ones to take off. There we go. In the speaking of the word, British Airways, I think. Classic 777. Off to Chicago. Start that again. 777-200 off to Chicago. British Airways. Obviously a great evening for departures. Keeping the liveries nice and shiny. Even though some recently that I've seen out of Manchester, they need a wash. They need to clean the planes. Just saying. Looking a bit dirty, but a lot of these tonight have been amazing, bright aircraft. And finishing off that sentence to start a new one. Kuwait 777. Incredible aircraft, incredible power. The sound has been amazing down here. Off to Kuwait City. Banking now out of Manchester, not Manchester at all. Oh no, London Heathrow. I don't think you get to see many Kuwait City or Kuwait aircraft out of Manchester. I can tell you, I don't think you do. I think there's one or two, but I don't think there's many. Anyway, 777 off there. Got a couple smaller ones now. We've seen some big ones. You have to balance the books with the smaller ones. From what I can see on the map, obviously, as I've said throughout the last hour, that these aircraft pop up and pop out when they want. Flight radar doesn't tell you. So obviously I'll let you know as soon as I know what they are. But a lot of British Airways. You've got a few, United 777-200 heading out to Washington. You've got a Saudia 777-300 in a special livery. I actually saw this one land a couple hours ago out from Riyadh. It is the Grand Prix, well, X-Prix livery. I can't say the first part, so I'm just not going to. But yeah. Out to Venice, British Airways. No! Lost it. Zoom. There we go. We've got. I'm just gonna keep it in this now. I'm just gonna keep it at the zoomed out so you can at least always see the aircraft. he says, but I'm going to zoom in just to say goodbye to this British Airways. He didn't get the time it needed. Out to Venice on the A319. We've got Qatar Airways A350 that is taxiing towards the threshold of the runway. So we'll get to see that in the not too far future. British Airways again off to Berlin on the A320. There we go. As I said, I will now keep it in this, but yes. So, British Airways A320 off to Berlin. We've got a Royal Jordanian 787 heading out to Amman. Car going very fast past then, sorry about that, but Amman. 787-8. We have a Royal Jordanian aircraft at Manchester, but it's just their A320 actually. So, much bigger aircraft for us to see here at London. In the same breath of that though, an A319 heading out to Dublin with British Airways. Quite a few out to Dublin tonight for British Airways and Aer Lingus. So a very, very popular, very busy route for Heathrow and Dublin. Now, I've said this before, unless something else takes off in front of it, which is all likely, which I think I do see something behind the tree, potentially. We have British Airways 787 that is at the top of the runway. It's heading out to the United States in Kentucky, but as I said, there's every likely no. I think for the first time on this live, what's going out is what's going out. It's fantastic to see. Makes my life a lot easier. But 787 with British Airways heading out to Kentucky, Cincinnati, I think. I always find the wings on a 787 to be quite oddly shaped. They look absolutely massive, the wings, compared to the fuselage. That might just be me though, thinking from down here. But yes, off to Cincinnati in northern Kentucky. We've got the Qatar A350 that we've seen on the taxiway and on flight radar for a while now is heading closer to that threshold, waiting to take off. Seems the top of the runway seems pretty clear, so if that will be our next one, but the chances are they'll let out one of the little aircraft that are waiting to go. That Emirates that landed about 10-15 minutes ago is at Terminal 3. It's parked up in the centre of the airport. Oh, we've got a 767, I believe, which wasn't on flight radar, which is always helpful, as I say. United. Absolutely gunning it out of London here. The United Airlines 767 heading off to New York. Again, wasn't on flight radar. You can just tell by the wingtips that it's a 767 taking off. But yes, just left, heading out to New York, is the United Airlines 767. Now we're panning back around to the other side, waiting for the next one to take off. And then literally in the same breath, we've got one taking off. British Airways again. Their A350-1000 heading out to Las Vegas. Said it right this time, no loss. Ooh, birds having a fight over there. But yes, British Airways A350-1000 heading out to Las Vegas. Panning background. On the runway now, I believe has started its takeoff, so it will be the next one, is the Qatar Airways A350 that we've spoke about for the last couple minutes. Hello, welcome to the live. Perfect timing for a 350 for Qatar heading out to Doha. Just retracting its gears, heading out. Off to Doha. Panning back round now. We've just had an aircraft cross the runway, probably heading out. Yeah, it's that Saudia special livery aircraft that's heading out to Riyadh. That is just, I don't know if you can see, you can just see it in the background there, the tail. Where's the camera? Oh, there's my finger. Just there. Hello. Heading out to the runway, waiting to take off. That would be great to see. As I said, I saw that land a couple hours ago, so I have that footage that's going to go into a nice long video that's going to be posted next week sometime. But it'd be great to see now its takeoff. Oh, we've got a Virgin Atlantic A350 as well heading out. But yeah, the next couple of minutes is going to be great. In the next 5-10 minutes, we've got quite a few big aircraft as well as some little ones. Last on the runway was the Royal Jordanian off to Amman, so we'll be seeing that in the next couple of minutes, next couple of seconds, to be honest. It is their 787. The delay in takeoffs will just be from the couple aircraft that were crossing from the taxiways to Terminal 4, Terminal 3. Ensure they crossed, so obviously they have to wait till it's clear for them to take off again. And in that takeoff, we have one taking off. It'll be the Royal Jordanian, unless I'm wrong, frankly. Nope, Royal Jordanian taking off here out of London Heathrow. Banking out of flight path now. 787-8 for Royal Jordanian there. Swooping background. Said This is Myrtle Avenue. It's fantastic spotting for aviation enthusiasts. Very good for landing. They get quite low because as we're waiting for the next one to come out, the orange light indicating things, I don't know the proper name for them. I will find out the proper name for them. Are just there, so the view for landing is incredible. But as you're seeing here, the takeoff view is just as good. So hopefully I will be live again tomorrow, and hopefully they'll be landing over here, because an A380 going over here is very low, very loud, and just all around incredible. Should probably check, we'll see what's going up next. Currently we've got a couple small ones, Lufthansa A320 heading out to Frankfurt. Got a British Airways off to Toulouse, where me and my dad earlier this year went out to do some filming at the Airbus factory. Saw a couple new ones, saw about 6 or 7 Belugas in our time there, which was just incredible. An incredible aircraft, transporting for the manufacturer. But heading out now is British Airways A320 heading out to Sweden. For the first time on this channel, I'm actually filming on a tripod, so it's great because it's not as shaky. A bit shaky when I kick it because I have massive feet, but it's great because I actually get to see the aircraft as well. You're not just checking that it's in the frame there. But yes, A320 for British Airways. Swooping around now, trying not to kick it so I don't look like an idiot. But another little one, I'm assuming this will be, oh no, British Airways again off to Madrid on the A320 here. Swooping round again. There we go. Yeah, we've got some small ones, but we've got a few big ones waiting to take off. We've got United Airlines, we've got the Saudi Airlines, Turkish Airlines, A350 is waiting to take off, as well as some British Airways and Delta aircraft. And again, British Airways, A319 off to Edinburgh. So, quite a lot of aircraft for the airline going out to destinations around the world and Europe. However, quite a lot of the ones we've seen on this live stream in the last 80 minutes have actually been within the UK and its neighbour Ireland, to Dublin, Shannon, Belfast, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Manchester. Way big up Manchester there, home airport. Newcastle was one of them as well. So quite a few routes within the UK for British Airways, connecting all of us to the capital city here. Lufthansa A320 off to Frankfurt, just taking off now as I whittle on about British Airways and their incredible routes. talking about British Airways and their routes, they fly to over 200 destinations in over 80 countries around the world. It's just incredible for an airline. Finnair A321 off to Helsinki. Lined up on the runway now is British Airways A320 off to Zurich. So another British Airways flight here out of London Heathrow. You can definitely tell that sun is setting. Oh, whilst watching, it's that London Heathrow Zurich route for British Airways on the A320. Unless a little one goes out before it, we've got the United Airlines 777-200 off to Washington. That should be next, unless, as I said, a little one takes off before it, if they're in a hurry, which would be, again, another British Airways flight. There we go, a little one taking off. What did I say? It's like they can hear you. London Heathrow to Glasgow, British Airways A320. So another British route. Domestic route, that was what the word I was looking for, domestic. Another domestic route, really, in Britain for British Airways. Hopefully in the next couple of seconds, and that means that the United Airlines is lined up on the runway, so let's hope that that is out next. There we go. Up and our way, as they say. How the sun was on that then. I didn't even think it had a livery. The plane looked yellow, obviously with the sun in the background of a white aircraft, but yeah, that looked weird then. It looked like before they get painted. But there we go. London Heathrow to Washington, United Airlines 777-200 aircraft. I like the noise that the engines make on the 777. Quite a distinctive howl for aircraft. As many of them, the A350 is the same. You can hit, you know, when you are near an A350 when it's landing, when you hear its engines. They're quite a distinctive noise that they make. So yes, as I said, tomorrow I'm going to keep out an eye on how the planes are landing and come back to Myrtle Avenue, because if they're landing this way, they are fantastic to see. But during the day when the sun's not setting, the aircraft will look great taking off or landing. So we'll be back down here. I say we, it is just me. Flew down yesterday into London on British Airways. 30 minutes. It's a no-brainer. Especially if you like planes. Get on a plane, 30 minutes. I mean, the wait at the airport is horrid. Oh, tiny aircraft. I will tell you when it loads. I think it's Logan Air. Unless it's a private jet, I think it's Logan Air. I know they fly out. Oh, it's above me. Yes, Logan Air. On the Embraer ERJ 145 off to Londonderry. Just had to check, yes, in Belfast at the very tippy top. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back with another British Airways taking off. Off to Basel? Off to France. When you can't say the town, just say the country. When you can't say that, say the continent. France. It's off to France. That's all we'll say. We'll leave it at that. Incredible aircraft. Now it looks like we're going to be treated with some big ones now. We've seen a couple little ones. It's time to see some bigger ones now. Up first, I say this, and yes, I'm going to say it again, unless a little aircraft takes off before, it does look like we're going to have the Riyadh route from Saudi. Nope, little one, honestly. Little aircraft, up it goes. It's up and away though. We're going to have a British Airways flight before anyway. But London Heathrow to Amman on the A320. Wow, that is quite a route for a little aircraft. We've seen 777s and 787s do that route, but this is the first time today we're seeing an A320 do that same route. Incredible. But yes, British Airways A320 off there to Amman. Up next we have, because it's on the runway, so I'm going to confidently say it this time, is the British Airways 787-10 Dreamliner off to New York, JFK Airport. There we go, just seeing in the distance there that it has taken off now. The dash 10 787-10 there. The iconic British Airways flag on the tail there. As you can see from the sun setting, nice and visible on Myrtle Avenue here. And turn around. So we're going to be joined now by some little aircraft, or we're going to see the much anticipated Saudi Air flight to Riyadh with a special livery 777. It is a little aircraft. Turning back round now. We're just waiting now for the next departure out of Heathrow. We've currently, I don't know if it's going to cross the runway instantly, but we've just got a Korean Air 777, I believe, that's just landed from Seoul. That in the summer, either last year or the year before, was with the 747. Sadly, that was retired. Sorry, I just lost my breath for a moment. There is another A380 British Airways heading out tonight, off to Los Angeles, so we are going to wait for that. We're going to keep a pause. It's absolutely freezing here at Heathrow. I forgot my coat. However, anything is worth it for an A380. Finally, the Saudi special livery. Heading out to Riyadh this evening. Fantastic. Saw it land and now seeing it take off. Incredible. But yes, good news for us anyway, to see that the A380, we're going to have a third one on this live, which is just incredible, heading out to Los Angeles, British Airways A380. So we're going to keep an eye out on the ever unreliable flight radar in this area, but we're going to keep an eye out for that and see when that's coming out, because that is definitely worth the wait. We've seen two now on this live. We saw one 20 minutes into the live. We saw the British Airways heading out to Miami. Then we saw the A380 Emirates heading out to Dubai, and now hope we're going to get to see the British Airways heading out to Los Angeles, which is incredible. So, a British Airways here. Heading out to Mumbai is the 777-200 British Airways. They're fantastic. So yeah, we're going to have the A380 is on its way. It is heading down to the threshold on the runway. So do stick around for that, because that is a fantastic spot to see. The couple of you on here, what is your favourite either airline or aircraft? Does anybody have a specific one that they love, that they like the most? Airline, aircraft? I'd have to say mine would be A340 -6, the 600 variant of the aircraft. Ow. I think we're going to have a little one yet. When it loads on the map, I can tell you. British Airways off to Cairo, Egypt, A321. Heading out there. I think we're going to have the Turkish Airlines out next, the A350, which is fantastic. Newish to the airline actually, the A350. Last time I was down in Heathrow, it was meant to come, but it didn't. And then at Manchester, it was due to arrive, but then they had the A330 instead. So we'll see. But heading out now. Is Delta 767 heading out to Atlanta. Yes, if you can hear me over the engine, it is Delta. Delta Airlines 767 heading out to Atlanta in the United States. That British Airways A380 is heading closer towards the threshold of the runway. If you're following along on Flight Radar, if you do have it up, it's just heading down now from Terminal 5C, and it's going to join the backlog of the couple aircraft that we have at the end of the runway. Oh, sorry about that. Turkish Airlines here, A350. Turned around so I could cough, and bugger has snuck up on me here. But yes, we have the A350 900 Turkish Airlines heading out there. A couple people have started to, as the evening heads on, people finish for work and school and everything, people are coming onto the field to spot, as anyone should, at Heathrow. Incredible. No matter what time of day, you've got fantastic aircraft flying all around, especially when there's a British Airways heading. You can't go wrong with that. Excuse me. Actually heading above us, talking of incredible aircraft, obviously I won't be able to zoom in so much that you're going to see it, but just up there, where's my finger? There it is. Oh. Up there is 747 with UPS, the delivery company, heading into Cologne. But talking of planes, we can see fastly departing. I think I said departing, London Heathrow. is Delta Airlines again, 767, heading off to New York's JFK. Departed so fast I couldn't even speak. But yes, we do. That airline is now off to New York's JFK. That sun is slowly heading in. I'm actually going to move us a bit forward for this A380 departure so we can get a longer lasting view of it when it does depart. Obviously it's going dark now, but as we can see by the wing curvature, this is a 787 Virgin Atlantic. Heading out to Los Angeles tonight. A nice bank out of London Heathrow here. Got a couple aircraft crossing the runway here. Saudia and a Bulgaria Airlines crossing the runway. Got a couple little ones heading up now. You'll have the A321 and A320. If you're next to the aircraft, no, they're not that small. However, compared to some of the ones that we've seen and are going to see, it is incredible the size difference in aircraft. The A380 next to an A320 is insane, the difference. Actually, just above, where is it? You can see, just above us is that 747 cargo heading out to Cologne tonight. Truck, must be a fan of the channel, truck honking us there. But yes, as I said, there's a crowd gathering on the field. Some enthusiasts, some people just obviously heading home from work, but all coming out for the potential A380 tonight. We've got another British Airways A320. This is the A321. This is the A321 heading out to Frankfurt. Oh no, sorry. Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus has snuck up upon us. Heading out to Dublin. Sometimes you pop up and take off without warning. You have a lot line up and they'll line up for 10-15 minutes and then one just comes and gets on the runway and it goes. It's not waiting for anyone. British Airways A321 off next to Frankfurt. Just taken off there, as you can probably see through the trees. There we go. British Airways A321. That British Airways had taxied down from Terminal 5C down to the threshold, so as if we're waiting, because currently it is not on the map, but that seems to happen a lot. on this. Like, they pop up and they pop away so quickly you don't actually see them coming. Like currently, Turkish Airlines A321 off to Istanbul is just coming up on the runway, and it hadn't even taxied there for flight radar. But nonetheless, heading off over us is another British Airways. Off to Rome in Italy again. Another route to Italy for British Airways. I'm just going to have a look at another flight tracker to see if I can see this A380 on the runway. I do believe it is expected departing. Yeah, on a secondary flight tracker, the British Airways is on its way. It is just on the taxiway waiting. A321 off to Istanbul with Turkish Airlines. So the two main trackers I use are Flight Radar, obviously, which is the most known for flight tracking, but the one I'm currently looking at is the ADS-B Exchange, which is better for military aircraft, as it's quite good at having them for some reason, but seems to be quite good because it's telling me now that there's an A350 1000 British Airways taking off. And there you go. Speak of the devil. Heading out to Washington. The A380 has just popped up back onto the Flight Radar tracker, so we do know it's coming now, confirmed by two tracking sources there. So that would be great to see once it finally, because currently it's sat at 0 knots, so it's not moving anywhere, but it is waiting and it is on its way. We are just waiting for the departing aircraft to depart. Currently, I don't know if you can hear that in the background because there's a lot of traffic obviously, but it sounds like they're testing engines in the not too far distance over at the testing facilities here at Heathrow. London Heathrow there, off to Geneva, British Airways A320, their Switzerland route. We've seen 2 of them now tonight on this live. We've got a British Airways 777 off to New York, lining up on the runway as we speak. But every flight that goes by, hopefully it means that the A380 is that one aircraft closer to taking off. Possibly, from what I've heard and can see on the... Oh, I'll let this A350 head off first before I speak. Cathay Pacific off to Hong Kong. We have the same route out of Manchester, the Cathay Pacific to Hong Kong route. Well, we certainly did. I've actually not seen it in the recent weeks or months that I've gone to Manchester. So depending, that's just the time that I've gone at or whatever. But yeah, fantastic route and a fantastic aircraft. It always looks, especially when it's sunny, it always looks really nice taking off. But yes, as I was saying, they're testing, I think they are testing the engines on a British Airways A380, because after it landed here at London, as you'll see in the video that I post next week, it was actually taxied from Terminal 5 all the way down to the facility that they work on. So this is the 777 heading out to New York with British Airways. But excitingly and finally, the British Airways A380 is lining up on the runway as we speak, ready to take off here at London Heathrow, heading off to Los Angeles. This will be the last aircraft of the live. What a way to finish it off as well. British Airways A380 heading off. Says it's on its way. A380. There we go. As I say that sentence, the British Airways is here. A380. Let you enjoy. Absolutely incredible. As I said, British Airways A380 from London Heathrow off to Washington. What a live that has been. Incredible aircraft taking off. 3 A380s. It's just been incredible. So thank you so much for sticking around and watching these aircraft with me. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Back in the same place, Myrtle Avenue. I'm going to make an afternoon or a morning of it, depending when the aircraft are landing, so make sure you tune back then. And that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, stay up to date with everything that's posting. I'm going to start traveling a bit more, posting a lot more, and yeah, so there's one taking off in the next second, so as that A380 leaves the distance, gonna let this Virgin Atlantic take off, and then I'm gonna head off myself, as it is freezing now at London. I don't know if it's cold where you guys are, but it is absolutely frozen where I am. Looks like nice weather, but the sun has set now. I think the Virgin Atlantic's on its way. Says it's on its way. Watch, it just never comes now. There we go. Final aircraft of the live, the Virgin Atlantic. A330 out to New York. There we have it. The last aircraft of this live tonight, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're watching. London Heathrow to New York City, Virgin Atlantic on their A350. So as it flies away, I will sign off. Thank you very much again, as I said, for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, so make sure you are subscribed so you know when I'm on live, and I'll see you then.